49ers beat the best team in the NFL, but does that make them the best team?
The Niners are back. They destroyed them in every way.
In today's episode, we talk about who is the NFL's best team, and stay tuned for the college football Final Four. Jordan Travis is that big of a factor. He should be your Heisman winner. An update on Ohtani.
Ohtani, the biggest name, could finally sign this week.
Our reaction to the Zadorov trade.
I was genuinely not expecting him to get traded to us.
And the Euros group draw.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BTR podcast.
Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe.
As always, our socials are linked down below, so give it a follow on everything, audio listeners. Or if you do prefer to listen on audio, make sure you guys download it, rate it 5 stars, leave a review. We will appreciate any feedback we could get on anything. Without further ado, let's just get right into it with our game of the week in the NFL.
And it was a letdown.
Yeah.
Because one team dominated.
One team dominated. I guess our game of the week will be Thursday Night Football, which we'll get into. But let's get right into it. The game of the week that we decided was the Eagles versus Niners. We're recording this while the Chiefs game's going on, so we can't really mention how good that game is because you guys might get a live reaction.
Live reaction, Jordan Love might rush
we're at
for
halftime right now, so let's through this.
Jordan Love's rushing for a 99-yard touchdown.
All right, let's off the bat. The Niners, my pick, my Super Bowl finalist pick, I guess. Destroyed the Philadelphia Eagles 42-19. On a recap, when I made my prediction, I expected it to be a closer game, obviously, but I expected this to be more of a kind of like a scheduled loss. I don't know how to word it
for the Eagles.
For the Eagles,
like you expected
a loss to coming soon because the way they were winning wasn't.
You expected a Niners win.
Yeah.
Like you weren't like okay.
I was expecting the way the Niners were rolling and the way Eagles were kind of winning games. I'm like, okay, it's time for the Niners to actually see, and what those 3 games were a blip. The difference was the Eagles won their games, but now it's gonna be a race for the title, the NFC first
crown.
seed and the East title. But yeah, my reaction: the Niners are back. They destroyed them in every way. There was legit drama from before the game with all the tweets that if we had Brock Purdy, we would have won that game. To in the game before the game with them going through the Eagles D-back drills or something like that, and then obviously the chief security officer got kicked out.
Yeah.
With the Dre Greenlaw. And after that, the Eagles finished the last the Niners finished the last 6 drives with 6 straight touchdowns.
Yeah. Deebo Samuel talked his shit and backed it up on the field. I think he had 3.
I guess almost everything was a touchdown.
Yeah. Deebo Samuel talked his shit, backed it up on the field with 3 touchdowns. Brock Purdy showed why he was missed during the NFC Championship game last year. And they did it in the spot where they lost too, right? It was a Philly home game.
Yeah. In
the Lincoln Financial Field. And McCaffrey, obviously, doing McCaffrey things. Everyone was involved. Brandon Ayuk got a touchdown. Defense balled out. So this was a full, complete Niners we expected, before their 3-game losing streak, obviously, where we started questioning them. But like you said, it's a blip, right?
Yeah.
This first time Brock Purdy facing adversity in those 3 games, and he was injured. And you could tell that. And that bye week helped them out. They're healthy now. Deebo's back healthy. Trent Williams is back healthy, and so they were able to run on the left side of the line really well.
My only concern was, why was this not Sunday Night Football in general?
That was the biggest issue.
But no, overall though, I guess the title of this video, let's just answer it. Are the Niners the best team in the NFL? I guess you guys will find out through our power rankings coming out midweek. But as of right now, before we finish that Chiefs game,
I have the saying, if you beat the best, you become the best.
Yeah.
But then I say that for the Premier League a lot. Like, say if Sheffield beats City.
That does not matter.
That doesn't count like that. But this one, I think it counts, right? Like, they're both...
Yeah.
Both the teams are, like, legit, genuinely top 2 in the NFL, right? Eagles been producing result after result. Went in their toughest part of the schedule. Now they're 3-1, but started off with a Cowboys win, a Chiefs win, and a Bills win, right? Lost to the Niners, and we'll see what happened to the Cowboys next week. But they kind of proved that, that their wins weren't flukes. They were winning. They were winning close games. They weren't dominating like how they were last year. But they've proven that they can hang with the big teams, even when we had the concern from the first 6 weeks of how are you only beating the Vikings by a touchdown? How are you beating the Patriots by 1 score?
I think it was Commanders in overtime. But
yeah.
Yeah, no, like on the AFC side, I'm not convinced by any team as the standings popped up on the screen here, on the TV. But yeah, like Miami, those 3 losses are concerning because they were the top teams or considered one of the best teams because obviously the Bills are out of the picture. The NFC honestly might have the top 3 spots overall with the Niners, Eagles, Cowboys. I'm giving the other 2 teams ahead edge over the Cowboys obviously because the Cowboys lost to both of those teams.
You know, but one thing that's funny is like it's gonna be 1 and 2 and 5 seed. They're not gonna be top 3 seed. Yeah. But like I think the part like if you beat the best, you become the best kind of applies in this situation because those 2 teams are so close to each other.
I think the Eagles. Sorry, no, not the Eagles. The Niners are the most complete team overall. And I think the Eagles are too, but the Niners had more dominant wins.
Yeah, and I think Niners have like the more star power. Like Eagles have obviously the AJ good O-line, the good wide receiver core, the good all that stuff, right? Or like they have good units, whereas the Niners in each position, like Trent Williams, best O-lineman in the game. Christian McCaffrey, best running back in the game. Fred Warner, best linebacker in the game. They had that little
the only thing the Eagles have is the best QB out of the 2 teams, and out of the 2 teams, I guess.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying overall NFL.
And what's it called? The best receiver in this case, but AJ Brown. But in that, yeah, I don't know. I'm going with the Eagles. The Niners still, because I said they were going to be my Super Bowl finalists. I didn't expect them to go on a hot start and then go on a losing streak and then back to a hot start again. I think the Niners are the best team in this year. And
yeah,
obviously I looked wrong for those 3 weeks, and then now I'm back to looking right because I was the guy who put the Eagles like 5th or 4th in the early power rankings when they were undefeated because I wasn't convinced by any of their wins at all, right? And now I might be talking 2 ways here because with the Chiefs I kind of did the same thing because I was putting the Chiefs higher still, and now watching the Chiefs play, even like this game, they're down 14-6 currently against the Packers. It's going to be tough for sure. One of these, it's the top 2 teams for me are the Niners and the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean the difference with the Eagles for you should be like they convinced you because
afterwards they convinced me.
Yeah, they convinced you eventually. Where the Chiefs have still not convinced me. Yeah. Right. But yeah, the top 2 teams, you said it, Niners, Eagles, and the fact that the Niners absolutely destroyed them should tell you the fact that the San Francisco 49ers are the most complete team on paper, and they're producing results on the field at the moment.
Niners obviously had like a bit more of a revenge factor in this game, obviously. But again, it's like Jason Kelsey said, it's like a regular season game. It doesn't prove that you're going to be the NFC champion when it matters most in January. So we'll see what that looks like as we anticipate that to be the case.
And I say in the NFL all the time, it's hard to beat a team twice.
Yeah.
Especially when you play them once in a regular season.
And when they're healthier.
As well, that's true.
Let's go mention the Cowboys. Let's go, not the Cowboys, sorry. It was Cowboys, right? There's no I mixed up last week with Thanksgiving as well, which was the Cowboys.
It's still Cowboys.
Thursday Night Football wasn't what we expected. We expected to be a low scoring game, I guess, because I expected both defenses to be good, but like Dallas's offense to overpower Seattle's offense, but more so like a 24-10 game, not like a
41-35,
like a one score game, right?
And it was a shootout, 41-35. Yeah, it was a 6-point game, and Dak balled out, Geno balled out, and
the defense did not.
The defenses, both of them, really did not.
Yeah,
and up
DK
until
popped off. Give props to DK.
Give props to DK.
DK alone made Deron Bland not win deep way.
Yeah, he's not winning. He's not winning now. Deron Bland is not winning.
The stats are there, but obviously the stats don't mean shit.
It was like Trayvon Diggs when he got like 11 interceptions that year.
Yeah,
he was getting cooked still.
Yeah,
right. But what was I trying to say? Like the Dallas defense showed up when it mattered, right? With Micah Parsons. And
Micah's done that a couple of times this year.
Yeah, against the Chargers, remember? Where Gilmore got
that one.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing happened here. Where their last 2 drives of the Seattle Seahawks, they couldn't move the ball at all because they were getting to the quarterback. And the Seattle O-line held up. Right? That was the most surprising part of this game. Right? That's the reason why it went to like 41-35, because they gave Geno time to throw. They gave their time to Metcalf. They gave time to Najikba to get open. Right?
And both those guys went off too. But yeah, credit to Seattle, but obviously still couldn't get the dub, and now they're 6-6. So speaking of that, before we go on, let's just talk about the playoff picture slightly here with the top seeds. Right now, overall, it's the Eagles at 10-2, the Niners at 9-3, Detroit's at 9-3, and the Falcons are at 6-6. We're not going to talk about them. And then the Cowboys are also 9-3 because that matters in this picture. Because one of the Eagles or Cowboys will be wild card 1. So the 5th seed in this case. Yeah. And those guys play each other in 2 weeks.
Next week. So that'll be probably our game of the week. Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, so that will be our game of the week most likely once we talk about it on Thursday's episode on Wednesday night. But how are you picturing this now? Are you, because the Niners are playing the Seahawks again, also next week I think, or in 2 weeks. Are you still sticking with how the order is right now? Okay, well, I'm gonna say this. Number 4 is an NFC South team. We already know that.
But Lions are in the picture too.
No, Lions are in the picture 9-3
because of their strength of schedule as well, right? They're only 1 game back.
So that's what we have to include them in here.
But the Lions do play the Cowboys in like week 17 as well.
Yes.
So that's gonna determine a lot there as well.
Here's the thing.
But
Here's the thing. The Cowboys got the worst time to face the Eagles because the Eagles are coming back after this loss.
Yeah.
Right? Because the Eagles' loss is bad. It wasn't like it was a close game loss. So this is like a motivating Eagles team. Like, okay, we got to show who we are actually. And is this game in Dallas?
It's in Dallas.
Okay, so who knows? Either way, we're gonna see a better.
My pushback for that is like, I don't think that works in this scenario because Dallas don't give a shit because they lost to Eagles already.
Listen, Dallas.
So they're already in the motivating factor.
True, but Dallas also crumbles under pressure more than the Eagles do.
That is true, but this year, honestly, it's been a little bit different.
That's what they all say about the Cowboys. And you're falling for it.
But it compared to whatever happened, they always find a way to mess it up, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
But yeah, so like, how are you gonna picture it? Are you gonna still keep it Eagles, Niners, Lions, and then go 5th seed Cowboys, or are you gonna reverse the order based on schedules?
I'm still keeping the Lions at 3, still keeping the Cowboys at 5th. 1 and 2, I have no idea.
Let me see what the Niners' remaining schedule is. That would sway my decision. Their toughest game is the Ravens.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
That'll be a good game. That's Monday Night Football. Thank God.
Thank you for putting it prime time.
But like, we'll see. I think they'll beat the Seahawks. So honestly, and then the Eagles remaining. Let me check that very quickly.
I think Niners are gonna be the 1 seed.
Eagles' toughest game remaining is also the Cowboys, and then they play the Seahawks as well. And tiebreaker, right? Yeah. Actually.
Eagles could still.
No, I have to give it to the Eagles still because I think the Eagles will beat the Cowboys. I think the Eagles might win out. So if that's the case, then the Eagles already are 1 game ahead. The only way the Eagles won't get it is if Eagles do lose 1 and the Niners win that game as a result, then they'll get first. I think the Eagles will win out.
I'll be honest with you. I think I'm leaning towards Cowboys this game. I don't know why. I just like having that home field advantage this game. Last year they were a 1-1. Like,
true,
they won 1 game, but
how much did the Eagles win the first game?
By like a score. Remember the final drive?
So that's big in this because the combined score will be Cowboys then if it is a touchdown.
It's division record.
It was division record, not combined score?
Yeah, it was division record.
Okay, never mind. But I think the Eagles will win out. So I'll keep them at the first seed.
Yeah.
But
let's talk about Colts. Just cause.
You want to talk about them right away?
Yeah.
No, because I was gonna stick to the NFC quickly.
Oh, you want to stick NFC first?
Yeah.
Let's stick NFC then.
Seahawks. Remember at the beginning of the year where I was like, don't be surprised if the Rams overtake the Seahawks in division standings.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of backed out by listening to you a little bit, and I doubled down on the wrong team in the Giants instead of this.
Hey, man, you win some, you lose some.
But I now going back to it, and you could attest to it. It's on camera.
Celebrate your wins. Celebrate your wins.
And now the wild card picture here is Dallas, Minnesota, Rams. Minnesota, we're not going to talk about the Cowboys. Minnesota, Rams, and Seahawks are 6-6. Whatever happens in this game right now, that's live. But the Packers could also be 6-6, and behind them are obviously the 5-7 Bucks and Saints. We're not going to talk about that. Giants 4-8 somehow make the playoffs, man.
No, they're not.
But no,
you didn't even say they're gonna make the playoffs. You said they're gonna be ahead of the Cowboys.
True, but the Rams, yeah, they're good.
Healthy, bro. Like, that's my biggest question mark. Is Stafford gonna be healthy? And that's the reason why I wrote him off. And he's been healthy. Obviously, he missed a couple games where they lost 2 in a row, but the O-line is holding him up pretty well. And obviously, the biggest surprise of the season,
Puka Nacua
balled out again today.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. There's the Rams are looking good there. Vikings obviously looked bad last week.
They were terrible.
We'll see what happens this week, because I will not be surprised now. Because like before, you're like, oh, it was easy, those teams. Now you can't say that anymore.
Oh, 100%.
Now you can't say that anymore.
There was a 2-game lead.
Because
there was a 2-game lead on each of them.
Yeah, and I kind of expected like the Rams will make a push, especially if they won that Seahawks game, and they did. And then, but here's the thing: Raiders, Bengals, Lions, Packers, Lions are on the Viking schedule. Those Lions games, especially if they want to move up in the standings to potentially even get a bye, which they have the potential to do after today's game, how they performed, bounce back. You could say the Vikings could be out, and one of the Seahawks or Packers will get in that spot.
Yeah, I think there's a Packers game as well, right? The Vikings are playing the Packers as well, so there should be one.
They're not.
Wait, Vikings already played Packers twice?
Yes. So there's two Lions. Oh no, they are. Sorry. It's in between Lions, Packers, Lions.
Yeah. So those 3 games are gonna be a big test for the Vikings. There, big playoff implications there.
So as of right now, how are you gonna finish the 2 and 3 wildcard spot?
2 and 3,
and then I guess put in your NFC South. You might as well get the playoff picture over the NFC right now.
Right now I'm going with the Rams are making it.
Okay.
And right now I'm gonna go with the Packers making it.
Okay, and then who's your AFC or NFC South winner? Still the Falcons at 6 and 6.
The Carolina Panthers.
Are they? How are they not eliminated yet?
It's because they need 7. They could get 7 wins still.
They have 12. No, now they can only get 6.
Okay, so they could tie.
Yeah.
So
yeah, true.
The Falcons need to lose out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going with the Falcons right now. They're looking like the better football team at the moment.
I'm going Rams. Falcons winning that division, sorry. But Rams and Seahawks.
No, so
I think the Seahawks are decent enough to still make it.
Yeah.
I forget what my wild card was. I think I had Giants, Cowboys, Seahawks, which I didn't have the Rams in. So it's kind of similar vibe to it. But yeah, I guess, is there any games that you want to talk about the NFC quickly today that intrigued you?
NFC games, I gotta pull it up.
We got we got the upset of the week.
Yeah, we'll mention it for the AFC side because
that's part of the AFC Playoff Picture.
But yeah, no, everything else is normal out. Shout out to Mike Evans.
Yeah,
10 consecutive 1,000 yard
10
consecutive 1,000 receiving yards to begin his career, right? So he's a big free agent target for
Colts.
teams.
I think, like I said, I've said many underrated wide receivers. I'm not saying Mike. I still think that Tyler Lockett is more underrated than these guys, but especially Terry McLaurin in the wide receiver 1 column. But guys like Mike Evans deserve their flowers.
When you compare it to Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown this year especially, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson,
Mike Evans does not get mentioned.
Yeah, Mike Evans does not get mentioned.
Terry McLaurin doesn't get mentioned.
Devontae Adams as well.
Mike Evans does not get mentioned in those games. That's enough as much of you hear about the Jay Jettas.
Him and Keenan Allen.
Yeah,
both of them. They're both having.
Keenan Allen balled out this year, but Mike Evans has done it consistently, and he's been more healthy.
Yeah, Keenan. Yeah,
clearly he's been more healthy.
He's been more healthy, Keenan, 100%.
Well, yeah, clearly by the stat, right? So,
let's move on to the AFC. We'll just start off with
Indy then.
The Indianapolis Colts.
The game that was on drugs.
Before I get into that, Chargers Patriots.
Snooze fest. I didn't even watch it.
Don't.
We're not gonna dissect anything.
I know, but I'm just saying.
You brought it up.
I know. I'm just saying. Don't ever face each other ever again. That's what I'm trying to say here.
I think I saw a stat where the Patriots allowed less than 10 points or something this year and lost all 3 of the games or whatever.
Yeah, but moving on to a drug game. By the way, I
want to say one thing. Staley still deserves to be fired after this game.
Oh, you got a shutout, yo.
But he got a
shut out. He's not getting fired after a shutout. But yeah, a game that was on drugs. I went to overtime with an eventual Colts win, so 31-28.
Colts offense horrendous. Colts defense, run defense horrendous. Colts offense still, I don't care. I understand.
Hey, I'll give him this much. Rushing wise, they were terrible. Passing wise, they were actually good.
They were okay.
They were good.
They were okay because
compared to what they usually are, they were good.
I'm gonna say okay because yes, we got 2 deep shot passes to Alec Pierce. One led to a touchdown.
When's the last time we saw 2 receivers get 100 yards in a Colts game?
They both got 100.
Yeah.
I guess Pierce makes sense.
They both got 100. I think Pittman had 102 and Pierce had 100 spot on or something like that.
Let's see.
Here, I'll pull it up. I have it right here.
I have it. Yeah, 100 and 105. And then Granson got 72 on 3 of them.
So when's the last time you seen that?
I know, but I'm watching the offense though. You still were okay, what the red zone was horrendous.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm saying that's where you have to get your points. There's no excuse for you to come out of the red zone with a fumble and then 4
Four field
it's
goals.
3 field goals, and then the game winning was the touchdown.
No, 4. Was it 3?
No, we had 5 red zone trips.
Yeah, so it's 4.
One was a fumble, 3 were field goals, and then the overtime was the winner.
Oh, the touchdown. Yeah. Okay.
And when Pierce got knocked down, I'm like, no, we're gonna end 28-28.
Yeah, but the point there, credit to Titans' red zone defense. They are one of the best in the league.
4th best in the league.
And then they're one of the best run defenses in the league already. And they had their main run stopper in Tyler Tart, which they didn't have in the first game.
Yeah, well, soon. Many people, I guess.
There's a lot of people.
Stonehouse, Wiley, Henry, but the Stonehouse one was big
and Simmons.
And Jonathan Simmons, yeah.
Jeffrey Simmons.
Sorry, Jonathan Simmons is on the other team. But that Stonehouse one was the injury was caused because 2 straight.
That was the second one.
Yeah, that was the second one, but 2 straight punt blocks, or I guess punt fumble, I guess. And the second one that led to Stonehouse injury. First one was by Nick Cross, then Stewart, the guy
Grant Stewart
with the scoop and score, and then you obviously Tony Brown, who were trying to say get off the team because of the cornerback was horrendous, but keep him now for special teams, clearly.
What a play.
Because I think the Patriots did that earlier in the year. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, he's going to get there.
He's open, bro.
And then he obviously got him, or he stripped him apparently, and then which led to 3 points only because we couldn't get the touchdown.
Yeah, we couldn't convert from 5 yards out with 3 attempts, 3rd and goal, or eventually taking a field goal. But at that point in the game really changed it for the Colts, because when you're looking at halftime, this Titans offense is really doing well.
This game was drugs on this part. We got the first one, got the touchdown, and then we gave a pick 2, I guess.
A pick 2, yeah.
A pick 2, which was a 2-point conversion picked.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, the momentum's back. And then we got the Colts defense held up. I'll give them that. Third quarter Colts defense was decent. D-line wise.
It was great.
Shout out to Daryl Baker, who had a good game this one. But what'd you call it? But then obviously we got that, and then it led to 3 points, and then yeah, it was a weird game. I thought the Colts did not deserve to win this after the first half, to be exact. Second half, I'm like, what are you guys doing? You guys are losing the game now, and now
you're trying to lose the game.
You got lucky that Stonehouse got injured, because that should have been a game over in regulation with the Nick Folk missed extra point. Yeah, because it was Ryan Tannehill had to be the holder. But yeah, but at the end of the day, you got to win ugly in this league, like I said with the Eagles earlier, and the Colts done it, and because of that, they hold wild card spot number 3. Who's 2?
The Browns.
Oh, they're still there.
So, Pittsburgh, Browns, Colts, 7-5 record, hold the wild card spots in that order. Outside looking in is the Texans with 7-5 as well.
Okay, so let's go to the first team. Pittsburgh, upset of the day, probably upset of the week, losing to the Arizona Cardinals, which had 2 weather delays. I really wanted to pick Arizona, but I'm like, I shouldn't, and obviously they shut me up by winning.
Yeah, Kyler Murray. The big momentum shift here is that their goal line stuff on Pittsburgh at their 1, then on their offensive drive they went 99 yards before halftime to score a touchdown, which gave them like a 10-3 lead at half.
Yeah.
And then once it came out from the first weather delay, they got another touchdown, then another weather delay, and and also with Kenny Pickett going down and Trubisky coming in, it was kind of
Pickett.
It's going to be tough for them to come back.
Kenny Pickett is set to miss time due to an ankle injury, extended absence to be exact. On the other side of things, Cleveland, Joe Flacco.
But before I get that, and this was also a James Conner revenge game.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely balled out with 2 touchdowns.
Speaking of the Arizona Cardinals, they also released Zach Ertz. So him and Shaq Leonard are looking for contending teams. Mainly Zach Ertz because he is older. But the good news with Zach Ertz is at least he'll end his career with a Super Bowl ring.
Oh yeah, because
with the Eagles.
Yeah, with
Shaq
the Eagles
is still looking for one.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Cleveland. Joe Flacco. Cleveland lost 36-19 to the Rams, which helped obviously the Rams in a playoff picture. And the Browns are still in a playoff spot, but like you mentioned earlier, 4 teams are tied at 7-5 with Houston outside looking in. But we got to talk about Joe Flacco though. That was my player to watch, and he did well for a 38-year-old coming off his couch. Practice squad to now. First drive was good. Shows that he had a cannon a little bit. 23 for 44, 254 yards, 2 TDs and an interception. Right, so it's not the greatest stat line, but for a guy coming off his couch, you would give it for sure. Oh yeah, I'm sure the Jets would want him right now.
100% Jets. But Jets could have used that for a long time ago.
Well, they had him last year or the year before.
What about this year? But yeah. But yeah, no, Joe Flacco looked good. Obviously, their historic defense got cooked by Puka and Stafford. And the 36-19 was a little bit inflated just because of those fourth down stops by the Rams, which obviously led to touchdowns because it was in Rams territory already. And the Flacco interception and near the end kind of iced off the game there. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised of why is Flacco starting over PJ Walker, because you won games with PJ Walker. But I might eat my words a little bit, not yet, just because they still lost. But Flacco did look good.
Wait, okay, on top of your head, because I know you didn't watch NFL for the longest time either. Same with me, but is Flacco a Hall of Famer?
I
guess we gotta look at his stats. But
I didn't watch him play
much. I remember the Super Bowl. That obviously helps it. But like, I guess it depends on his stats, because he was up there. He was the guy in Ravens until Lamar
he's a Super Bowl MVP too.
Yeah. But we'll leave that up for debate right now. We'll come back to that argument.
Yeah, we gotta look back at Flacco games.
Yeah, but Houston Texans, we're gonna talk about them quickly. One, this was the big game, right? Houston and Denver. It looked like Denver was proving you right for a little bit until they made a comeback.
You mean wrong?
No, they were proving you right.
Well, like that.
You have to write them off 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Like, they were proving you right. Like, they were getting their ass kicked.
They were getting their ass kicked.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Right before you switched up, and then they started proving you right when you switched up. But no, Derek Stingley finally noticed him for once. Because I forgot this guy was like a third overall pick. They picked him over Sauce, right?
They did, yeah.
Him and Will Anderson Jr. popped off today. And Denver obviously needed this win. They're 6-6, tied with the Buffalo Bills. And but yeah, Houston is outside looking in, because I don't know how a 4-way tiebreaker works, really. I guess they'll go. It's weird. I don't know, because like Cleveland beat Indy, but Indy beat Houston. Did Houston beat Pittsburgh?
I think so. I think they did.
Because Houston lost to us and Ravens. Yeah, Houston beat Pittsburgh. Yeah, so I don't know how the tiebreakers work.
Yeah,
so they did.
They did.
I think they destroyed them too, like 30-6 or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't know how the tiebreakers really work unless you go division per division. But then, again, how does that make sense? So we'll see what the true picture is afterwards. It's looking like an Indy-Houston week 18 Sunday Night Football game with a win and in situation.
Win and in situation, yeah.
But Denver on the flip side, like, listen, they're not out. Yeah, they're still a game behind, but
same with the Bills.
They don't have a tiebreaker on Houston though. That's the thing that annoys them.
Yeah.
They're tied with the Bills, and I still project the Bills to make it in one of those. I still project the Bills to make it over Pittsburgh or Cleveland. I'm gonna be slightly biased with Indy, because Indy does have the tiebreaker on the Texans.
At the moment,
I'm saying it again. Steichen should be I was watching it on DAZN, and they were saying who's coach of the year, and Steichen's name was not on it.
No way.
It was D'Amico. It was Dan Campbell. It was Shane Steichen.
Steichen's out of Campbell.
And it was one more guy. Oh, Mike McDaniel. And yeah, so there was no love for Shane Steichen, who's actually in a playoff spot right now.
He's getting snubbed right now. That's what's going on. But there's a lot of big games that's gonna determine that Colts Texans Week 18 matchup, because the Colts got the Steelers, right, as well. The Houston got the Browns as well, and 2 Tennessee games as well, two division games.
So how weird the NFL season, how great it didn't go game wise. At least you will have drama.
There's still be drama
going down the wire here in the playoff spots. But yeah, and any other game you want to talk about quickly that stood out?
We're gonna have another decent one that's gonna happen on Monday night with the Jaguars Bengals. That's gonna determine top spot, if a tied top spot with the Ravens.
Let's talk about it then.
Yeah, so let's head over there. Any other games here? Not really. That's really enticing. So Jaguars Bengals, obviously prime time, understandable
at the time
that schedule was made. Obviously, without Joe Burrow, it's not going to be as fun to watch as it should have been. But yeah, Jaguars Bengals. Jaguars should get this win. Obviously, Jake Browning's the quarterback. The way that Jaguars are on a decent roll right now, so they need to win this game in order to have a chance of getting that top spot.
Yeah, I think the Jaguars will win, obviously, but yeah, we'll see how it goes, right? Because the Jaguars are in a spot where they can. Because let's talk about the top. We didn't talk about the top of the picture on this one, like we did the NFC. So this is where we'll talk about it. And right now, it's the Dolphins at 9-3, Ravens at 9-3. Dolphins have the edge over them. KC, who's playing right now 8-3, and Jacksonville playing 8-3. So there's a potential by the end of tomorrow night, or I guess in this case tonight.
We have 4-way tie.
We'll have a 4-way tie, and I don't know how the tiebreakers will work for each.
Jaguars do play the Ravens still, so that will be a big matchup there. And if the Chiefs win today, they should be ahead of the Dolphins because they technically beat them as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's another 4-way tie that could happen by the end of Monday Night Football.
Yeah, and I don't think any team that's in the wild card will jump them like Dallas on their side, because I don't think the two North teams will jump Ravens now, considering their injuries, and Steelers I don't trust in general.
Yeah, I mean Jaguars should have their division locked. Ravens should have theirs.
But hey,
honestly,
if the Jaguars lose,
everyone has their division locked.
If the Jaguars lose, they're 8-4.
They're 1 game behind.
Indy's 1 game behind.
Well, technically 2 games.
Houston and Indy are 1. Yeah,
2 games because of tiebreaker.
Yes, but Houston has. I think they beat them.
But they also lost to them. So it depends. It depends on division record. And Houston's.
So there's still an argument for where a South team and a North team could be in that.
I think Houston's division record.
But I agree with you though. I think those 4 teams are locked.
I think Houston's division record is 1-2 right now.
Yeah, and the Colts are 4-1.
Was it
4-2? Sorry.
So so Houston still has 3 division games remaining. 2 against Tennessee.
Colts are 2-2 because they swept one and they got swept, and they beat Houston. So they're 3-2.
They're 3-2 right now. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of tiebreakers are going to be involved.
Yeah, I agree with you though that I think the 4 currently are the 4 division winners, but there's still an argument to be made. I think it's more of an argument for Indy and Houston than the North teams to win the division.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, just rounding off with Monday Night Football.
I picked the Jags. I'll pick them.
I picked the Jags.
I'll pick them on a 10-game win.
10-point win.
10-point
yeah, I had a double 2-possession win for me as well. And yeah, it sucks to see that we can't see the Burrow Lawrence matchup.
Yeah. Shout out to Polla Sahora, who's a Jaguars fan. I got to meet him at the boxing event that I went to, the Beast Law Boxing, which we'll talk about later, because he was asking me what my team was. He watches our stuff, so that's good. So if you're watching this, shout out to you, Paul Sahora, wrestler, MMA, local guy, same high school as us.
Same high school.
So, yeah.
Tammy represent.
Tammy represent. But yeah. Before we move on to college football, which we have a lot of opinions on, especially you, because you're already getting animated. I see I see that face of getting pissed off by looking at.
There's one opinion.
There's a major opinion though.
Yeah, it's a big one.
That's what I'm saying.
Before, we get into that.
Roger Goodell has come out, according to Diana Rossini of The Athletic, saying that he is in favor of banning the tush push along with the hip tackle, whatever, hip drop tackle, whatever that is. But the tush push, I completely disagree with it. I disagree with Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
I just think it's a play you can't stop. There's many teams that could do it, cannot do it except for one. Why, take away their biggest weapon away?
There's a lot of plays where you see the running back's there almost, right, and the old lineman come behind him and push him into the end zone, right? It's kind of something similar here. It's just the next level quarterback.
This is just a push. You see sometimes linemen coming in like a body check to push.
Yeah, just to push, give extra views, right? To me, it's just the normal football play, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has the luxury to do it. It's just that the Eagles do it better than everyone else.
Because it's not Jalen Hurts' fault. He could squat 600 pounds.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, I think it's bullshit. I think they need to keep it. I don't care. I'm speaking as an Indy fan here. I'm not an Eagles fan. I have no ties to the Eagles really like that, outside of our coach being there, but that doesn't affect me as a fan. Yeah, we've seen many teams, Buffalo tried it with Josh Allen and it didn't work, I believe. We've seen, I don't know if the Chiefs have done it. But many teams we've seen try it and they all failed because they just fall on top.
It's part of the game, right? So, when the MLB made their rule changes, I wasn't fully for the shift changes because shift is a part of the game. Yes, I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to watch it, but, to me, when I'm looking at the other side, it's just a game plan, right? The Eagles' game plan is they don't need 10 yards. They just need 9.
Yeah.
For in 3, they need to be 4th and 1.
Yeah. I completely disagree with that take of by Roger Goodell, not you, by Roger Goodell. So, and many who think that it should be banned. I do not think so. I don't think we got any serious injury out of it on the top of my head.
No.
I could be wrong, but on the top of my head. But yeah, let's move on to college football because the
Final Four is announced and the weekend is completed of the title games, right? So the title game winners,
I wish kind of Oregon won to see what type of drama would come out of it. But UW on Friday night beat Oregon, and Alabama beat Georgia. Texas won their game. I forgot against who. Michigan beat Iowa, and FSU beat Louisville. And I just want to confirm the Texas ones, so just to give them the props. Oklahoma State, and yeah, those are the big ones. Like I don't care about the rest.
Yeah. So out of all this, we knew Michigan was a lock, and we know University of Washington was a lock.
So there not, and that followed the step. That is 1 and 2 right now. It's Michigan 1 and UW or 2. Now, in our eyes, we thought that FSU. Let me see what their final score was before I say something. 16-6. Okay, FSU is not in the top 4, and this is a weird thing because this is what happened. The number 1 seed is now completely out in Georgia, so they're not in now after the loss to Bama. It was a close game though. We thought Georgia was going to be a lock at a 3 or a 4 spot, even if it was a loss.
Yeah,
like a close game loss. Obviously Oregon falls out completely. They're there. Ohio State was outdone after the Michigan loss. But here's the thing: the 7 and 8 seeds are now your 3 and 4 seeds, which is Texas and Alabama. And FSU being undefeated are no longer there. And this is my statement of it, and I'll let you talk about it in a second. It's obviously a committee that decides this, and they don't decide it based on who's undefeated, who's not. The FSU is the first Power 5 team undefeated team not to make the top 4. Right, ACC is considered the top Power 5, along with the Pac-12, the Big 12 or 10,
Big 10,
SEC, and there's one more. Right, like when the Bearcats of Cincinnati Bearcats were undefeated all those years, they didn't make it, and they finally made it. They got their ass kicked by Bama, so they're using that picture as well. They're looking at TCU getting their ass kicked in the final though.
That's a final. That's a different story, in my opinion,
against Georgia, but they did beat a powerhouse in Michigan last year. So if that's the statement you're going for, it's not. I really, really think Jordan Travis not being their QB, and he tweeted this saying, like, I wish if I were to break my leg, it happened earlier in the year to prove that it wasn't just on the QB. Now, maybe if we had a time machine and you wished for that, I don't believe that would have been the case. I think Jordan Travis had a big factor in it. And plus this game, because I was watching this game, and they were playing their third string QB. It was boring. There was like a punt fest in the first half. And obviously the defenses have to show out. But that being said, I still think FSU needs to be in here. I get it from a viewing factor. You don't want them in because clearly the viewing factor of this final wasn't the greatest. And if they were going to be the 3rd seed or even the 4th seed, I think they would have a better matchup against Washington, but not. I think Michigan will kick their ass.
Hey, this defense is still real.
But at the same time, I disagree with it. I was arguing with you. Let's see how are they going to announce the 4th one? Because I thought, okay, FSU should be a lock. So how are they going to announce 4? Because Georgia obviously lost. I guess clearly they value the title win more, so that's why Georgia and Ohio State were out. And then Texas beat Bama. But if they had picked Bama, Texas had an argument because Texas looked good all year. That's why they probably went Texas 3 and Bama 4, not having an ACC representative, because I think Big 10 was Michigan, Pac-12 with Washington, and they took the 2 SEC teams. I do disagree with it. I do think that FSU, I understand it might not be a factor, but I think the Jordan Travis injury obviously is the big factor of why they did not put it. If this QB went off yesterday, this 3rd stringer, or the backup, if he were to play, they would have put FSU in. I really do believe Jordan Travis is the big reason why FSU is not in the top 4. And do I disagree with it? Yes. Do I get why they didn't put him on there? Yes. But I still think you can't rob the rest of the team an opportunity to potentially do what TCU did last year to Michigan because of a QB injury. To your point, which you're going to get to in a second, you said it off camera, and I saw comments on a tweet when they announced the top 4 that if that was the logic, then if that's the logic of not having Jordan Travis, the reason why he's not going to be in it, he should win the Heisman.
Yes, 100%.
So I will let you get your pissed off rant out.
Yeah. First of all, to your first point, if Jordan Travis is that big of a factor, he should be your Heisman winner, right? If that's the main reason.
Because right now it's Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix.
Yeah. So the way that you've selected the Final 4 shows that Jordan Travis.
But we don't know that's how you selected it, but we're assuming.
I know, but I'm assuming if that's the way you did, Jordan Travis is MVP, Point one. Point two, yes, you have an easy schedule, and don't get me wrong, like, you do want to see, like, I understand, like, you want the best teams against the best, right? And, like, a lot of on-paper decisions are going to be made. Like, Alabama looks better on paper, Texas looks better on paper, right? And they look throughout their season, but it's really hard to go perfect, no matter where you're playing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's very difficult. And the difference between this one and the Cincinnati one is that these guys still battled without their starting quarterback, their star quarterback, who's probably gonna be in the NFL draft, and dug out 3 wins and got a title win out of it, stayed undefeated, right? Because we knew once they had 1 loss, they're done. But they didn't lose.
Yeah, because I was listening to Paul Feinbaum, and he was saying his point is, like, no one in the ACC has, like, more than, like, 2 and less losses or something, right? At the end of the day, I think as much as I like listening to Paul Feinbaum, and I think he makes good points, but I think, like, this case, I get it. If you're going to pick the 4 best teams, Georgia has to be part of it then. I think they're the 4th best. There are the 4 best teams, right? But, and because I think they're better than UW, unfortunately, but you're not going to, like, so if that was the case, why is UW not in there? Because clearly it's a QB factor, in my opinion. But he was saying, like, oh, like, well, Clemson has 4 losses. Well, Clemson was once upon a time a powerhouse. I understand they're not anymore. And they haven't had that QB since Trevor Lawrence. And before that, Deshaun Watson. And then guys like D-Hop playing for them beforehand, right? Heck, one of their D-men was with the BC Lions. So, yeah. But I do disagree with that because you still got to win. Like, that was a close game, if I wasn't mistaken, with FSU Clemson earlier in the year. But yeah, I don't get it. But yeah, anyways, continue.
And then the other point is, like, what I'm trying to say is, if you're trying to argue the fact that FSU barely won games, I'm gonna go back to that.
Well, not barely won games. They won the games.
Like, it was close games.
Oh, yeah. Should have been.
I'm gonna point out the Alabama Auburn game.
Yeah, you could argue the UW games compared to, I guess they
have UW the lock.
No, but I'm saying their games were close too. But I think they had closer games than FSU had closer games, and they were both undefeated and won the title. That's my point.
Yeah, so you're
I get it that UW had a harder conference, so which I think
UW's conference was hard,
and right. Michael Penix is a Heisman candidate, I guess,
as well.
But
yeah, I mean, if you're looking at viewership wise, I could see why they did it, but like these guys battled so hard all year with their quarterback going down. This defense has been
pretty good,
solid all year, and it just feels like what more could they have done? That's what I'm trying to ask you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the question that obviously next year shouldn't be, like, it shouldn't be into question because it's going to go to 12 team. But, like, what more could they have done?
Yeah.
Like, what like, I genuinely don't know what more they could have done.
They definitely went over money and viewership for sure.
Yeah, that's 100% the fact there, because they went undefeated. They dug out 3 more wins with their quarterback being down and remained undefeated, winning a title.
You saw the JJ Watt tweet. You want to elaborate on that part?
Oh, yeah. Please. I would have loved to.
It's not happening. We know that.
I know. But, like, an emergency 6-team playoff would have been perfect. Because, obviously, 1 and 2 are Washington and Oregon.
This was the year to get 12. This was the year to get 12.
Number 1 and 2 was Michigan and Washington. Give their byes. But Alabama, Texas, Georgia, and FSU all had the conversation.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone else. Unfortunately, Oregon was out of the picture.
They were out. Lost. The 2 losses.
As close as the game was, it sucks because Bo Nix.
You didn't win the big ones.
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
it happens unlucky because Bo Nix 5 years later, when it becomes 12 team, might not be able to do it. I don't think he's eligible to come back.
Same thing with Ohio State. They lost the big one, so I'm not including them either. But like, you're telling me those 4 teams, that would have been perfect. Emergency 6-team playoff would have been the perfect solution, but obviously, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
We'll probably clip this. He should probably get this ready to come out. But no, the couple of things before we end up the college football thing. Again, 3 things happen in this. An undefeated Power 5 champ is left out. They went 13-0 FSU. They beat LSU and Florida, which were big. I know Florida wasn't the greatest this year, but still, because we took their QB. The Seminoles became the first. Yeah, they became the first team, like I mentioned. The next thing, teams outside the top 6 pretty much the whole year made the semis, right? So which was obviously, again, it doesn't help that Oregon lost their second game to the same team, but Ohio State technically has an argument if they wanted to because they only lost to the best team in their thing. But a team 7 and 8 respectively are now 3 and 4, which was Texas and Bama. Quinn Ewers might not even be going to the draft next year, so the Texas could be a wagon next year. We'll see what happens with Arch. And the last thing is the number 1 team was completely dropped out for pretty much the whole year, which was Georgia.
That's weird, right? Like, I don't know. FSU was 4.
This is where JJ Watt's point makes the most sense right here. All 3 things that I just said.
Yeah, like FSU was the 4 seed the whole entire. They didn't drop out once.
Yeah.
Right. Once they got in, they were in. When they're in those AP poll rankings and obviously the actual college rankings, they weren't out of the top 4. They were in the whole time. So like, after winning a game, after winning a title, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Like what reason did they give you to drop them out after winning? They didn't lose.
Yeah.
So like
FSU should have been 3, then the argument should have been 4. Like what should have been Georgia, should have been Bama, should have been Texas.
Like
right?
I completely understand you're going for viewership, you're going for the best games possible and all that stuff, right? But like these questions need to be raised here, right? Like
who Texas lost to.
Like what did Florida State do wrong? Like can you answer that question?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to pose here.
100%
They cannot answer that question. They're
going to just be like 100% is 100% Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
Texas lost to Oklahoma. So if you're saying that, I understand they beat Bama, but then Georgia lost to Bama. So it's like it's a lot of things going on there.
So that's what I'm trying to say is like, yes, I could see why you did all this stuff, right? Like we're probably there watching the semifinal and the final, like okay,
which is on New Year's,
and hopefully it's gonna be like sick games like how the Georgia Ohio State one was last year, right? But at the same time, they can't answer these questions that we brought up here.
So that being said, the first round game is going to be sick. Though, unfortunately, FSU, we feel for you, but we have to move on now. The first round matchup is Michigan versus Alabama. And that's your first round game, which is probably your final because Texas versus UW, which is also tough for their standings. I think this is the year Michigan has to win. This is the year Michigan has to win.
This is Michigan's year.
It has to be. They choked last year, and before that, they would always choke in general. But
they never made the final like recently, right? Like, they always lost in the semifinals.
Semifinals will never made it, one or the other.
Yeah,
that was your issue. They wanted to fire Harbaugh all those years until they finally beat Ohio State because they couldn't beat Ohio State, right?
As well, yeah.
And Ryan Day can't even win the big one either. So now he's on that boat now.
He's on that boat too, yeah.
Before I go to the other matchups for college football, Tank Dell also fractured his fibula. He's in the Texans game. I forgot to mention that. So get well soon.
I think he's done for the year.
Yeah, he's done. He's on IR. So
yeah, that's tough. That actually sucks.
Wait, where did I put it? No, shoot. Let me search it up. The other matchups that are happening, like those Fiesta Bowls.
So I think Florida State and Georgia should be one.
So it's Georgia, number 7 versus number 9. So Ohio State drops to 7, and they're versing Missouri, which is the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
Peach Bowl is number 10 Penn State versus Ole Miss, which finished number 11. Orange Bowl is Florida State versus Georgia, which I guess Georgia should probably cook that, depending on who plays, because like usually the guys that are gonna go in the draft this year might not
don't really play. But
right?
Bo Nix is playing.
Bo Nix is playing. Speaking of that, Fiesta Bowl, Oregon versus Liberty, number 23 Liberty. So how the hell did they get the number?
I don't understand how that works, but yeah.
Yeah. So those are the 4 big ones.
And then you got the Army Navy game.
That's next week. I generally don't care too much about that.
Yeah. But it's their tradition, I guess. We brought it up.
Yeah. All right. That will end our football convo today. Let's continue. We're going to get it right into some big news with the MLB. We actually got some news. Maybe not transactional news, but we got news. You search out for the transactions while I bring the first news up. First off the bat, which is something that caught my eye, it is the Milwaukee Brewers signing top prospect Jackson Chourio, who's 19 years old, and are expected to complete that. This was as of November 30th. The richest contract for a player who has not played in the big leagues, which was once held by Luis Robert of the White Sox. The deal is expected to be for 8 years, guaranteed, and close to $80 million. And it includes
up a young
2
guy.
options, and it's team options.
They're putting a faith young guy.
Yeah,
and honestly, I could see why they're doing it.
I mean, yeah, if he pops off, it's $10 million a year.
But and
it's team options.
And it's like, like a steal of a contract.
If it's a team option, they could just cut him if he's bad.
Yeah, that's true there as well. But at the same time, I felt like you kind of gotta give him like a year, like how the Mariners give Julio Rodriguez a year. Then they offered him the big money.
Well, Luis Robert obviously made it look good.
Yeah, obviously
Milwaukee obviously I just saw a comment right now that like, cheap move by owner because they don't want to get established stars. aka trade Josh Hader away and Corbin Burns and
Yeah.
whoever. And how's Blake Murphy mentioned Christian Yelich. But yeah, so that's the one big move. The other big news that came out that potentially is Shohei Ohtani
But
could sign this week.
Before we get into that, nothing really
Okay.
eye-catching happened.
So Shohei Ohtani, the biggest name, could finally sign this week. And right now, it's between the Jays, the Cubs, and the Dodgers, and the Angels.
It could be as soon as this recording right now,
That's what we're hoping. We recorded early on purpose today, not waiting for this game.
but it could also be like Sunday.
Now, knowing our luck, it'll be after we're done recording.
Honestly, I think it's gonna be after. Like, I genuinely do believe it's gonna be after we're done recording.
Because there's 3 breaking news that could happen based
as
on
well.
news.
And then on top of that, but I think it's gonna be as late as like it'll be done
Within the
by
next week. This is according to
next
MLB.com's
Saturday,
John
yeah.
Morosi. Yeah, Jays, Cubs, and Angels and Dodgers.
So the 4 finalists are set basically. So we'll see who gets ruled out during the week. If
Ohtani
it takes that
is
long.
believed to have already received multiple offers for more than $500 million, reported by the New York Post John Heyman. Yeah, so there's the Ohtani update right now. We're just waiting as Jays fan. I refuse to get my hopes up for anything.
Yeah, no, but like, do you think he's gonna be an Angel?
I think he's gonna be a Dodger. I said that from before.
I know, but like, if we're trying to rule out a team here,
Power ranking all the teams.
if I'm ruling out a team, I'm ruling out the Angels, right? Because what do they have? Like, you've been in there for so long, and they provided you nothing, right? As
It depends on how much
contending-wise.
money they offer him and how loyal he is.
So they're gonna
It depends on how much he believes in loyalty.
So if he's Trout, like he's gonna have to be like Trout, basically.
You have Trout in his corner trying to get him back, though. That's
Obviously,
the one benefit.
everyone wants
But
to
okay, like if I were to power rank it, I think the Dodgers are 1 and the Cubs are 4.
You think the Cubs are 4? I think
I still want to give. I'm gonna give. I think it's the both LA teams, then the Jays, and then the Cubs.
yeah.
That's how I'm gonna do it.
But I just don't see why he wants to
I-
re-sign. That's what I'm trying to bring up here because
Except
like,
that he's been there already. That's it. I'm giving because he wants to be on the West Coast.
that's true. Yeah.
That's the main reason why I think it's LA, Toronto, Chicago, because
Is
I
it-
feel
is
like
it-
Toronto has the stars.
Is it
and the
easier to go to
pitching staff
Japan
do
then?
it. Yeah, that's literally
That's
why.
alright, yeah.
So yeah, I think that's how my power rankings are for them. But yeah, so Ohtani watch could literally happen at this second. It could be already out when this podcast comes out. Episode comes out tomorrow. It could already be out, and we won't be able to talk about it. I might have to do an emergency pod for Tuesday.
Or just
We got a new
credit.
laptop, so maybe it could be done on the same day, depending on the power of it, of editing and
Power of
rendering.
editing, yeah.
But the other big news is, the Jays are apparently the favorites to land Juan Soto from the Padres.
And that's if Ohtani doesn't
Doesn't choose
sign.
us. Yeah. Because John Rossi made it clear that we're not going to get both of them unless we trade half a roster away or something.
There's no way getting both of them.
Yeah, so the possibility and then the name that came on discussion is Manoah. Soto, I still think he's going to end up being a Yankee somehow, and we're going to be used for leverage like how all their teams usually do. But at the same time is the Jays are the favorites. Manoah is because I think they're on a stalemate. They don't want to get rid of some pieces. The
Yankees and Padres, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. But yeah, let's see. Soto watch is on as well. We'll see if he extends because he needs a contract no matter where he goes. Whether he stays to start the year, he needs an extension there. If he goes to whatever team he gets traded to, he needs an extension. And the Jays obviously have. Oh my God, Patrick Mahomes had to do that again.
What the hell just happened?
Okay. Anyways, we won't try to get distracted here, but yeah. Either way, he needs an extension. If you're the Jays, you have Vladdy, Bo. If you you're probably gonna give away Manoah, but like other pieces you might have to sign
Like
as
a
well, like
PD
Dalton
man.
Varsho, for example, and stuff like that. Because defensively, we need Varsho if we're gonna lose Kiermaier, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
and Soto could play left field, I guess. So that could be right now. We might be trading away Springer, who knows? But that outfield will be Springer on the right, Dalton, Varsho, and Soto on the left field. And there's obviously a lot. Nothing. The thing with the MLB offseason takes forever, is because I guess they're waiting for the big fish to go. But at the same time, how does it affect Matt Chapman and all these guys signing? Yeah. But speaking of third base, another big name that is generating buzz outside of Tyler Glass now in the pitching side of things, Isaac Paredes.
I think it's
Isaac Paredes from the Tampa Bay Rays, who are also could get rid of Randy Rosarina, by the way.
Bro, Rays can't retain anyone.
Because they're cheap as hell. Look at their
Yeah.
stadium.
Look at their stadium.
But the Blue Jays and Seattle Mariners are among the teams interested in Tampa Bay's Isaac Paredes. I'm saying the Mariners the favorites because I think John Heyman, said this, was the old GM was linked to Seattle's GM or something like that. So between the two of them, they've done 14 trades already. It's kind of like the Canucks and Penguins.
Yeah.
So, or Dan Milstein.
But
yeah, in this case, like Seattle is the favorite to land him.
And there's a after trading Eugenio Suarez, there's a genuine need at third base, so it makes sense there. And same with the Blue Jays, if like depending on what happened there, the Blue Jays have more options in my opinion.
And there's that guy from Candelario.
Candelario is an option as well. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Mariners make sense. Obviously, Jays make sense as well.
I'm gonna check some last couple of things here because, like I said, Tyler Glasnow is generating a lot of interest, like I mentioned.
Paredes is also, I think, arbitration as well, so which is gonna help his value as well. And then he's also, I believe, a switch hitter, and popped off this year. So
yeah, well, I would love to have a switch hitter.
I think he's at peak value right now. So if there's a time to get rid of him, the Rays are making a right choice.
Yeah, I'm gonna just put up John Morosi's tweets quickly. The first news is Jim Leland. I remember him actually. Former Tigers manager, because I remember watching the baseball back then. This is nostalgic when I see these names going in the Hall of Fame. Current special assistant Jim Leland is now a Hall of Famer going into Cooperstown. I think Cito Gaston was one of the shouts. I'm not sure if he's gonna get in or not yet. But yeah, so Jim Leland, congratulations, you're a Hall of Famer. And Lou Piniella fell one short at 11. Leland got 15 out of the 16 votes from the committee. So this is different from the players.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Cito missed out no matter what. Dylan Cease trade market is robust as the winter meetings began. Dodgers, Braves, and Orioles are all involved, sources say, and other teams also were being engaged with the White Sox. Big one. I already mentioned that GM's name is Jerry DiPoto, was named Mariners general manager in 2015. Something happened. I think Jerry DiPoto is somehow linked to the Rays.
Yeah.
But yeah. Mariners and Rays are the trade partners. We mentioned that. John Morosi made this clear. Could Shohei and Soto both join the Jays? No, unrealistic. The Jays have talked with the Padres about Soto and are not ruled out of the Ohtani sweepstakes. They might land one. They won't get both. So he made that clear to Jays fans that are fantasizing. I was slightly yesterday, but then I caught myself and I'm like, nah, I'm going to wait on this.
There's no way.
Yeah. So those are some of the big ones. Yeah, we'll leave it there unless something breaks while we're recording because we've got other sports to talk about now.
Nothing.
Yamamoto generating interest, the Japanese guy, 200 mil. I think the Mets will be one of the favorites for that.
Yes.
Yeah,
so nothing.
Those are the main things here.
Nothing right now, but we'll see. We'll hope it doesn't happen after recording. If it does happen, hope like a day or two later.
If you do after recording, you'll probably get two podcast episodes out tomorrow.
Well, it's want to be like more of a video type thing, but yeah. But yeah, let's move on to
some quick fire very quickly. Let's go with the NBA. Nothing much happened. The in-season tournament will begin today and tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday. We already announced our predictions. You guys could check out the last video for that. It's literally titled that video. Yeah, so there's that. No games on Sunday, which is kind of surprising, but I guess football.
NFL run Sunday, bro.
Yeah, but they still
I know they still play games.
Still, nothing has changed much. Celtics are first. Magic are still second, tied with the Bucks. The Sixers are there. Knicks, Pacers. So nothing really surprising now, except for the Magic, obviously. Piston watch. They're on a 17-game losing streak. They have the same amount of wins as the Texas Rangers in the month of November. They also they're joined winless. Sorry.
Wait, what?
They have less wins than Texas Rangers
less wins,
in the month of November because Texas won their one game to win the World Series. They have the same amount of wins as the Patriots, Jets, Panthers.
Panthers.
So those NFL teams, those are NFL teams that play weekly. These guys play like 3 times a week sometimes.
Yeah.
They're upcoming. When did we say they were going to get their first win?
I said Utah, didn't I?
Grizzlies are next.
Oh, I said Grizzlies then.
So Grizzlies are next. So Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then Magic, Pacers, Sixers. Utah is December 21st.
Yeah, so that's like my late one, I guess.
So there's your watch that's your biggest story of the NBA right now. When are Detroit going to get their first win, and if Monty Williams will get fired?
Or third win, technically.
First win.
In forever.
But other side of things, still surprising that Minnesota is hanging on to first. OKC is second. Reminder, we dropped at least my NBA power rankings are out. Yours will come out in a couple of days. NHL ones, which we'll get into NHL in a second, are already out for both of us. That being said, Minnesota still first, OKC second, Denver with Jamal Murray back now are third, Sacramento not proving last year as a fluke. Then Phoenix, Lakers, and like Dallas are all around the same area. The surprise there is Golden State is 9-11. They're outside looking in. The Spurs suck, and the Houston Rockets finally fell to earth. And I guess you could say the Clippers are 9-10.
Yeah.
Clippers though, big shot, PG for the win against Golden State. So that was needed for them. They had
100% needed that one, right? Harden not looking too good. Just the team wise, I guess, because it took them forever just to get their first win there.
But yeah, nothing much has changed since last time we talked, so we'll just keep it there. Moving on, boxing. Ryan Garcia got a win. I think it was 8th. I forgot what round it was, but it was a KO because technically the guy didn't get up after on the 10th count, but it wasn't like a clean like go to sleep KO against Oscar Duarte. He's called out Rolly Romero now. It's very weird though because he has like a weird toxic relationship with his promoter, which is Golden Boy, who lost Canelo, and Canelo and Ryan Garcia are not even friends either, but because they had the same trainer once upon a time. But yeah, so it's a weird dynamic there. He's talking shit about them on the podium, so it's kind of weird. And then Oscar De La Hoya, who everybody hates now, is saying like, oh, I'm worried about his mentals, blah blah blah. I don't know why he's fighting at 143 and not 140. But then everybody's like, just release him then, like let him do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but he has called out Rolly Romero. Obviously, the lightweight division is stacked. Whether you move up or down in weight with Shakur, you have Teofimo Lopez, who I know is higher in weight now. Devin Haney, who's fighting this weekend against Regis Progress, which is a junior or something like light. I don't know. It's weird.
There's so many divisions.
Because it's junior welter or like super lightweight. I think they're the same thing. But yeah, there's that. I mentioned earlier, went to the local boxing. I'm going to give a shout out. Benit Biesla winning again, dominating fashion. Yo, watching, I know you missed out. I'm saying that you missed out. I'm saying it on camera.
Yeah.
The vibe of watching it was like a Punjabi party, obviously, hall party with the music playing, and you got food involved in it as well. But it was like a hall party with a middle of the ring. But Biesla Fight Night put on a great event. Got to meet the Sahora brothers, Jesse and Paul Sahora. I think he goes by Pola though. They're coaches of the Tamanos wrestling team as well. And Only Rants, TikTok, host of the E Squared podcast.
Boxing.
And one-time boxer as well. Amateur boxer. But no, shout out to those guys. Got to have I haven't had a chance to talk to Jesse in person, but I am talking to him on the side. But with Pola and Only Rants, Randy, it was great talking to you guys, and hopefully we can set something up with them. But in terms of the fights, Gavin Biesla, first debut fight, ended in a majority draw. Herkira Niger, oh my god, this guy destroyed the opponent. The third fight was like the filler fight, even though it was a co-main event. No one really watched, because again, we're in Surrey watching this, so those guys are all Punjabi and Surrey represent. And obviously the main event, Benit Biesla killed it on his thing. So look forward to the next one. I know you're trying to free up your schedule in advance now because your soccer game took over. But so hopefully we get to see a future one coming up, and open invite to the podcast anytime, boys. We're looking forward.
Yeah.
If you guys watch this clip, but watch this part. But
I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah, I'm always gonna support. I know we're a sports podcast, but I'm always gonna support local sports, especially if they're Punjabi.
Local stars in general.
Local stars, obviously if we're doing the same with Jeevan, our cousin, obviously we're gonna do the same with everyone. Rav Randava killing it in the basketball scene right now, and over at his prep school, and so we're gonna be following all Punjabi sports all day, every day, and supporting everyone's. Whether you're a sports star or not, we're gonna support anything that anyone's passion, because that's what we're trying to follow our stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's move on. Let's. You want to end off on the NHL, or do you want to end off on soccer?
I'll end off on soccer just because there's more to talk there. NHL, we'll start off with
The big trade that
The
happened.
big trade.
The funny clip that Joven did. Any voice actors, voice
Bro,
actor
not this
agents,
again.
go call out my boy Joven right here, my brother. He's
Not this.
he's doing it. I gotta do it, man. You're killing it. You got like 800 views on that thing.
Bro, I sound so monotone though. Like when I listen to it back.
I mean, that's you though. We'll see what everybody else can do.
Yeah.
But no, anyways, we kind of did a mini. Joven did a mini reaction. I guess I'm not me, but Joven did an instant mini reaction of Zadorov, the Zadorov to Canucks trade. First of all, caught off guard because I was genuinely not expecting him to get traded to us. I guess with the Beauvillier trade, the cap space, and
You expected something to happen.
but I didn't expect him to get traded for what we traded for. Right?
Oh, exactly.
It was the pick we got for the Beauvillier trade plus a 2026 third rounder, which is like a kid in high school probably right now, or early high school even. And yeah, so I did not expect that to be the trade. He already made his debut against Calgary, got the win. I don't think he got the game-winning goal because he said it was PD who
Got a
touched
point.
it. So he got a point, the game-winning point. But yeah, so the Canucks obviously got depth in the defensive side of things. They still need depth on the defensive right side of the defense. But once Susie and if we get Bear come back, I'm okay with the defense right now. It's just the attack on the offense. Can they be more consistent? The bottom six is looking good. It's just the top guys. Can they continue it? And yeah. So that's the Zadorov trade. Your reaction as well?
Well, my reaction was mostly on the short as well. But
So
yeah.
that's your way to find out what Joven's reaction.
But like a quick one for me is like you added a big guy, right? He plays physical, right? You can see that with the many hits he's made. His skating is actually really like I thought his skating would be like okay, but it's actually pretty solid.
And he could hit.
Yeah, and the hitting. But yeah, he's prone to those brain cramp, right? Stupid mistakes, all that stuff.
And
and the
there's a
turnover.
mistake where you pair him with Myers then.
But at the same time, like the pros that he brings to the table are like, you know, really valuable for this team and really help this team out. And yes, if you're saying that, oh, why'd you trade for him if he's gonna be a rental? We didn't give up much. So if he goes for nothing, like if he goes in the free, if he goes somewhere else free agent wise, we don't really like. Not gonna be hurt because we gave up a future third and this year's fifth.
Yeah. You know, obviously the goal is to make it look like we sorry, I'm looking for the next thing we were going to talk about. But yeah, the goal is just extend him, but we'll see if
But there's other priorities for
yeah.
that.
1 sec. Let me just pull up the Corey Perry update quickly. He released a statement of why. So just to show you guys again, shut the hell up with the rumors.
Yeah.
It was not that.
Of what you guys thought it was, or
Yeah.
whoever created that rumor.
Let me just pull up whoever posted it because I don't know what his Twitter account is. Frank Ceravelli. I know you posted it.
Shout out to Frank.
Come on the pod. We're gonna say that about everybody.
We're gonna say everyone, man. Ovechkin, we have him on the pod already, as well as you're pulling up the tweet. Well, I'll just
By the way, a goalie goal happened.
Tristan Jarry.
I think that's a 14th now.
Last year was Linus Omark against the Canucks. This year was
Yeah.
Tristan Jarry. And I'll just
Mike Smith had one.
quickly go over one game before, unless you found it.
I found it.
Okay, good.
So this is Corey Perry's statement. I'm going to read it word for word right here. This is exactly what they said. I would like to sincerely apologize to the Chicago Blackhawks organization, including ownership, management, coaches, trainers, employees, and my teammates. I would also like to apologize to my fans and my family. I am embarrassed, and I have let you all down. As a result of my actions, there has been speculation and rumors. I am sickened by the impact this has had on others, and I want to make it clear that in no way did this situation involve any of my teammates or their families. Most importantly, I want to directly apologize to those who have been negatively affected, and I am sorry for the additional impact to others it has created. My behavior was inappropriate and wrong. I have started working with experts in the mental health and substance abuse fields to discuss my struggles with alcohol, and I will take whatever steps necessary to ensure this never happens again. I hope to regain the trust and respect of everyone who has believed in me throughout my career. Once again, I am deeply sorry. Signed, Corey. So that proves it again. That does not involve a teammate, and we've mentioned the teammate before. I felt weird saying that what the situation was last time, so I'm not going to say it again. Just watch the last part of what happened. As Frank kind of confirmed it earlier, it was an alcohol-related thing. I think he's a second player. I think it's Sam Girard. He's joining in the to seek help with regarding substance abuse and stuff. So shout out to these guys. They know that they needed the help and they're getting it. So we're gonna leave it there for now. NHL recap very quickly before you go on to soccer.
The Tampa Bay Lightning are struggling.
John Cooper is livid at the bench. They're having the talk about John Cooper of potentially being let go as a coach. I think John Cooper has got the respect where like it will be a mutual decision and not like, oh yeah, or he leaves on his own. More so like he gets fired because it's John Cooper at the end of the day. But yeah, like that's the biggest story right now. They're 5th in the conference. They're now 2nd out of the playoff spot. The Islanders took over.
Got destroyed by Dallas 8-1 with Vasilevsky in that. So there's Tampa's definitely on a cold streak right now. That is an understatement.
Yeah. On the other side, Florida's looking like they're not a fluke from last year.
Getting healthier as well.
They're better, but Boston still holds a clear lead. Like we said, NHL power rankings are already out for both of us. And Detroit is still holding that spot. Patty Kane obviously joining that team. Washington, 3rd in the division.
Killing it.
2 teams are shutting you up this year. One is this guy, even though he hasn't scored much. And the other one is...
it's not the
LA
reason
Rams.
why they're killing it,
Yeah. Carolina's still 2nd, and New York Rangers are still killing it. They're tied now in points with Boston. Toronto, first wildcard spot, and Islanders are there. Playoffs, no longer the playoffs is Philadelphia, but they're still at the top. Devils are getting healthy now, so it looks like Nico Hischier coming back is showing them a difference because he is a Selke candidate last year.
Their captain.
And that too. Yeah, there's not much to say. Ottawa obviously needs to get better.
And
on the other side, it's Colorado, Dallas, Winnipeg, like I projected anyways.
Just normal.
Just and then how it is. Vegas, Vancouver, and LA. Vancouver, again, they're kind of in that Miami Dolphins route, except not as good as Miami Dolphins are, but can't win like the big game.
Yeah, I mean, other than like what?
They're winning games they should. Simple as that.
Yeah, they're winning games. Other than probably a Dallas one they won.
Yeah.
They haven't really won those big games.
Outside of Edmonton, which was
and then Florida.
Yeah.
Those are only 2, but they lost to Colorado, they lost to Vegas, they lost to Tampa Bay, and yeah, basically those are big ones there.
Wildcard 1, Arizona. Wildcard 2, St. Louis.
Wow.
So Calgary's outside looking in right now. Nashville. And then obviously San Jose is tied in points with Chicago. But Chicago has 2 games in hand. So Minnesota with a new coach bump move up a little bit. And Anaheim is falling. They were on a losing streak. They just won.
Yeah.
They were like on a 7-game losing streak or
wow.
something.
So they have definitely fallen off. But Leo Carlson's looking like he should have been the second.
This is the first time I've seen like the top
3.
Like rookies in general. Like is those 3, Zach Benson, and there was one more that's playing. Like Fantilli, Bedard, Benson, Carlson, and there was one more from that draft class I think that's playing.
It was supposed to be a deep draft class, right?
Yeah.
Right, and they're definitely getting a spot on right now. But Leo Carlson is showing why, he should have been the second overall pick. But then again, it's too early to tell.
Yeah.
And then obviously Bedard, and you have Fantilli as well. And then Zach Benson getting the call up.
All right, let's move on. Let's close it out with soccer. Off the bat, the biggest news of the weekend around the world, because we're talking world soccer here, is the Euros. The Euro draw has occurred, and I'm going to just pull that up very quickly. Euros are this I guess next year.
Our draw reaction is, because you guys should obviously could look it up as well, but my initial reaction is Group B.
So I'll name the draws first. It's Group A is Germany, Scotland, Hungary, Switzerland.
Group B.
Group B is Spain, Croatia, Italy, Albania. Good luck, Albania. Group C is Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, England. Group D is Netherlands, Austria, and France. And then the playoff winner of Poland, Estonia, Wales, or Finland. So one of those 4 teams will take the last spot. Group D, that was Group D. So that's a good tough group as well then, assuming it's Poland. Group E, Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, and the playoff winner of Path B, which is Israel, Iceland, Bosnia, Ukraine. And then Group F is Turkey, Portugal, Czechia, and then the winner of Georgia, Luxembourg, Greece, Kazakhstan's playoff thing.
Group B.
So even Poland has has to go through a playoff and then go join the toughest group.
But Group B is toughest.
But Group D, second toughest.
Group B, Spain, Italy, and Croatia. I'm just happy that there is a third place for them.
Yes.
Good, like you said, good luck Albania. I don't expect.
Can you pull off a Costa Rica?
I don't think that's
from
gonna happen.
2014?
I genuinely do not believe that. One. Italy are obviously the defending champs here, which is surprising to say because they missed the World Cup.
Yeah.
But let's see what they could do. Spain, obviously, they're a young, good squad there, filled with Barcelona and Real Madrid players. And Croatia, yes, they're old, but when you still have Modric, Perisic, and all the other itches, I still give you a chance.
Yeah. Well, Guardiola's not an itch.
Yeah, Guardiola. He's not an itch.
Like obviously we already know the favorites are gonna be. The favorites probably France, France, England. I'm gonna give them credit. Netherlands will have a show. Belgium will have hopefully do better.
I'll put Spain in there as well.
Spain, yeah. Germany, I don't know.
I don't know about
Germany's
Germany,
group
man.
is easy. Scotland, Hungary.
I know, but Germany's just been disappointing.
Yeah, Spain has been disappointing too in a way.
Yeah, no, but Spain's been like on their come up a little bit.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the groups. This is starting back in June.
Yeah, so Group B.
The first game is June 14.
You would agree Group B is the group of death?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But again, like your point is, it's not like the Champions League or World Cup. Where
Like you have a third place.
You have a third place. So at the end of the day, those three teams will probably
So what is this?
should make it out.
6 groups. Right?
So 6 times 2, 12, plus
4 best.
4 best out of the 6.
4 best third place teams.
So if I were to make a projection of the 4 best third place teams, actually no, we're not gonna do that now.
No.
Well, you guys will have to wait till June.
It's too early.
But no, like early favorite winner,
early favorite winner.
or you can set up a matchup and pick the winner early as of right now.
No, we'll just go with one. We'll just go and save these projections for when it actually is happening. But early winner, obviously, I'm going with a boring answer. France. Just like what else can you really say? You know, they're World Cup champions, then World Cup finalists, and but they haven't really done it on the Euro stage, so we'll see what happens there. But but France is my pick.
I'm gonna do I go for the classic Belgium? Still hop on that bandwagon. I'm not going boring here, but this is Belgium's last chance, so I'm gonna give them one last edge. That's it. I know their World Cup was atrocious. Otherwise, I'm going with Spain. It's between Belgium and Spain. Those are the teams I root for.
Those are your 2 favorite ones.
So I'm rooting. I still have an argument for it. Spain's young, so Gavi out for the year, right?
Yeah, Gavi's
He's
out.
probably missing it, but
Pedri's still there. Lamine Yamal's gonna be there.
I'll go Spain. But I'm honorable mention Belgium. Okay. Other thing that happened is obviously it's a bad weekend as a Man United fan, but FA Cup results are out. Not results. The draw. Third round draw is out because there was a couple of big matchups. Normally we weren't going to talk about this, but off the bat, the biggest matchup is Arsenal versus Liverpool. Off the bat, third round.
So this is their second lineup. Their second team will be playing.
Yeah.
We already know what's gonna happen. So
who knows though?
Who's second team?
Sometimes those teams
they mix it up, but like most of the times, when I've seen these guys go against each other, it's like half of them is like their backup goalie and like backup players, and the other half is like where you see the Salah and the Saka playing, right? So or the Luis Diaz or the Martinellis.
Yeah, I think the other big game, I guess you could say, is Crystal Palace versus Everton in terms of Premier League matchups, and there is Tottenham Burnley is the other Premier League matchup.
But yeah, FA Cup wise, like it's too early for especially these big Premier League teams.
Wrexham versus Shrewsbury Town. So
let's see if Wrexham has a chance.
And they went far last year. Was it in this one or the other one?
I don't know, but
I remember they won 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. They
I think so.
Lost the last one in penalties or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
It might have been.
It's either that or they got
FA Cup.
I think it might have been FA Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know they upset like a team or two. I know that for a fact.
That's for sure.
But Man United got Wigan, and let's start there with the recap.
All right, Man United Newcastle. I have never seen a more lack of effort, just incompetent and shit performance.
How much are you putting this on Ten Hag again?
This
is
game,
a debate because people are saying Ten Hag it's on Ten Hag based on lineup or whatever the case is. I get it. He never made the adjustments appropriately, and Rashford clearly needs to be benched, right?
So
there's only like 2-3 players that are playing with passion.
Punishing players is on Ten Hag.
Yeah,
but like you can't tell Rashford go win a 1v1. So here's the thing: go win a 1v1
this way,
right? You can't tell freaking Diogo Dalot to be out of position, right? You can't tell Andre Onana to make a save, right?
Well,
like
in this game is not.
Yeah, no, but like I'm just saying in general, right?
Yeah.
You can't tell your attack to go score goals, right? They got to do them themselves.
Here's the thing, right? And Mark Goldbridge said it kind of perfect. He's like, it's another set of players that, what's the word?
Trying to run the club.
No, like something with the manager. Like I forgot the wording, but like gave up on the manager, and then that shows the effort. Like we want a different manager. If it was a first manager, I said this many times before, I agree. Because I won't be surprised. Like how I think when you see a new manager come in, there's usually an overhaul of players as well. And don't get me wrong, Ten Hag deserves blame. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
His talent ID at times isn't the greatest. Like Anthony, 90 million wasn't the greatest. Now to be fair to him, Anthony actually
Obviously.
the one thing with Anthony, he does play with passion a little bit compared to Rashford this year. I'm talking about this year.
Defensively.
But still plays.
But
my point is
the point is he's an
he
factor,
did like
yeah.
he was doing the right thing by benching him.
Yeah.
So there's like, but you can't give the players power. I think there was like one Mourinho. I saw a thing where it was like 4 returning, or it was like more than 4 returning players. But then the following year, Ole was like another returning players and a bunch of returning players after Rangnick, which was obviously that was different. That's interim, and then another. It's carry forward again that way. I get it. He spent a lot of money and got players. I think Onana will be better. I mean, the Premier League he's been good, right? But like the only guy playing with like passion right now is Harry Maguire, which we've never thought we would say.
I'll give
playing
credit.
well.
I'll give credit to Harry Maguire. I'll give credit to Garnacho's recent run of success that he's been having. Kobe Mainu.
Well, yeah.
As well. And the issue here is Garnacho's 19. Kobe Maino's 18 or 19 himself.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me there are your leaders of your squad right now that are showing example on the pitch, obviously there's an issue, right? Because your leader is supposed to be Bruno. Your leader is supposed to be Rashford, right?
Bruno's still your leader. I'm not gonna. It's more. Rashford's been atrocious.
Yeah, Rashford is atrocious.
I guess it. Bruno deserves some blame. Not saying that.
I know, but Bruno's still been decent.
He's been playing like he does track back and stuff. I get the positioning's been off at times, but he's plays decent, right? I still think he's a better player than Odegaard, as many people.
Yeah, but like, but I'm just what am I trying to say here? Yes, Bruno. I'll give credit to Bruno whereas because he's been playing pretty decent, right? I've been a little bit hard on him at the beginning of the year because beginning of the year he was terrible, in my opinion. So he's, performing well now compared to that. But at the same time, the players on the pitch that are showing up are not the players on the pitch that should be showing up.
Yeah, I think he needs to get the stubbornness out of the way and play Varane again. I don't know why there's a lot of player fallouts, but then that's also Ten Hag trying to show like his thing, like listen, you got to play, otherwise, that's where the fallout comes from. Because we never heard that from Ole as much. Because he was literally like listening to people and just doing it, right? So like I said, I don't have any issues with Ten Hag. I still think he's a guy. He needs to make many improvements for sure. You can't
get like the same shit's gonna happen again when you fire a manager. You're gonna get someone in their second year. Rashford's gonna start being acting like a little. I'm not gonna say it.
It was more Martial this game, but in terms of like acting towards the manager.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying like whatever those group of players are, you're gonna give up on the manager.
If anything, Ten Hag's babying Rashford.
Get fired.
In a way, Ten Hag's babying Rashford.
I know. I don't know why Rashford's not benched. First of all. And he does not deserve to be on the pitch at all. And his his defensive. I can't even I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah.
Like what he did defensively that game. Like I genuinely I don't know why he didn't get subbed off sooner. Like I would have subbed off Rashford in the 30th minute.
He's told not to track back. That's the other thing. As much. So that's the other issue with Ten Hag.
I know, but there's times when 1v1 he just let the guy go. Like he was genuinely defending like a pylon.
Yeah.
Like genuinely a cone could have defended better than him.
Yeah. Anyways, moving off Man United because my head's actually hurting right now.
Same.
Talking about it. In terms of the other fixtures, Sunday was a great day of soccer.
Banger day.
I just chose to sleep in. But Liverpool comeback win against Fulham, 4-3 win there. They were down 3-1.
McAllister banger.
Yeah. You got Chelsea 3-2 wins over Brighton. We're in shambles if Chelsea wins a game. Manchester City kind of I don't care about the reffing with them because it's Manchester City. But 3-3 and they could have had an opportunity late because the ref called it back. 3-3 over there against Tottenham. And those are the 3 big games. But even if you look at the other games, Villa 2-2, Bournemouth, and then Palace United 1-1.
A lot of goals.
The United game was it was still 1-0, so we were like, oh,
we still kind of have to watch the whole game.
Yeah.
But
and we did score, but it got called back.
I think Maguire was defending too much.
Yeah. That's the recap of that. But the big one I want to talk about is João Felix I wonder who won that game. It was that
Barca won.
Barca
1-0. Joao Felix got his revenge.
And then he was celebrated right in the fans' faces. Deservedly so, because he was getting booed as Patrick Mahomes threw a pick there.
I'll rip my fantasy team.
But yeah,
I'm on a 4-game losing streak now.
Okay. Anyways, back to this. Yeah. That was a big moment for him. He just celebrated like I'm doing it, and I don't blame him for doing that, because there's a lot of fans hate towards him and stuff like that. So yeah. Last thing though, we're gonna go to this game. It's finally here on Tuesday. Christine St. Clair and Sophie Schmidt now, but it's called Christine St. Clair Place, BC Place. But yeah, the last game for both of them, and they'll also be honoring Aaron McLeod as well, goalkeeper. But Christine St. Clair, get to see the atmosphere. 41,000 plus tickets are sold. Not trying to promote this event, but go check out. But like
at the end of the day, she is the goal of Canada soccer.
No debate, top 3 athlete in my opinion of all time.
In Canada, yeah, for sure. And what she's done for Canada soccer in general, like, it's genuinely like celebratory, and she deserves all the attention right now. She deserves all the praise, and she deserves a proper send off.
And we're gonna be there.
And we're gonna send her off.
Not with a red card. but yeah, like I said, I think she's gonna start this game because she didn't start the one in Langford. Start this game and probably come out in the 80-ish minute, maybe even like 89th minute. It's a friendly, so it's not like a serious game, but you also want to take it serious because to prep for upcoming Olympics. But yeah, so it's gonna be great to see, and thankfully Sophie Schmidt will also be there. One of your favorite players, Desiree Scott, is there, but I don't think she's playing, but she's there.
Yeah.
For rehab purposes. I think Janine Becky will be back in the new year as well. So very excited to see this. And shout out Jasmine Mendair again, who's going to be part of the staff there. So
coaching a goat.
Watching a goat, got to coach, be a part of the coaching.
Coaching a goat.
Yeah, in a way. But yeah, so we'll be excited for that. We'll let you guys know how that went in person. We get to finally see like a proper atmospheric game, I guess, since the Grey Cup, because otherwise we don't think we went to anything with the big atmosphere. I guess I went to the Canucks opening night a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
like PD's first year.
Yeah.
But outside of that, the Grey Cup was like the only big game we went to.
Yeah,
that had
something like that.
Had a good atmosphere.
Yeah, that's true.
So it'll be exciting to see that. So, but yeah, we'll leave it there. And thank you guys, everybody, for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow all our socials down below. All rankings on the TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram. Audio listeners, rate, review, and like, download, whatever you guys got to do, the audio side of things, to help promote our podcast out there. And we appreciate you guys once again, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.